My new thing, it fits in a clock, it rakes in a car, pulls on my brain. Are you ready to see? This is my new thing. Are you ready to see? This thing is my new thing. Shyness will show, excitement will glow. I'm sharing this thing. That thing is my new thing.
Hello, everyone. It's comedian Dan Wilbur.
And comedian Zach Sims. And guess what, chicken butt?
Oh,
You're
my
listening
God.
to my new thing, a show about comedians, but not always comedians necessarily, but people's obsessions, hobbies, and interests.
Oh, I'm sure we'll have a political candidate on here, and it will ruin him.
Oh, we're
just
getting
for showing
Zoran.
up.
We're getting
him.
Zoran. No way around it.
He's a tough nut to crack, but I think we're the interrogators who can
Absolutely
really get in there and say, "Are you a communist?" And he'll finally say, "Yes," and we'll break him. We got him. We got him.
Everybody,
anyway, freeze the rent.
People really want to get them. People who have
It's
lots
really
and lots
upsetting.
of money. People with.
Yeah.
It seems like it's interesting that wealthy people who profit off the poor are really worried about this guy.
Yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know.
And suddenly have a concern about, religion that I never seemed to exist before.
Yeah. We're going to do, we're not going to do any kind of weird other religions in this country. We're just going to do cool Bible stuff.
Absolutely.
That's the promise of America is you think you can get remarried? Guess again. Jesus said no.
And
So
nothing says strong Christian values like Cuomo.
That's right.
Now, Dan, we have a good app today. We actually recorded the app before the intro, which sometimes we're like, what a great app, and we're lying right to your ears. But today, we had a great app with the very funny and always interested. I won't say always interesting, but always interested Nick Maritato.
Yeah, we talked about his podcast. We talked about Graffiti.
And I do think this is a fun one for knowledge that will make you seem cooler and more interesting, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I bought a skateboard in the 10 seconds after we ended the recording and started doing this intro. I bought a skateboard, and so my next new thing will be X-rays. Am I right? Because I'm going to break a bone. I'm going to break my ankles and forearm. Hey, cool new thing. Now, Zach, do you have a new thing this week before we get to the interview?
I do. I feel like it's an old thing, but it's new here, which is the Little League World Series. It's happening right now. It's the qualifying rounds. And I think what I love about it is I love any national broadcast dedicated to showing children weep. It's one of the more incredible things about it is that a team will be eliminated and they will just show an 11-year-old sobbing openly. And it definitely seems not right. I guess we're seeing like their passion, but it seems like child abuse. I can't imagine any of these kids go to home from school and they're like, well, I'm really happy that every bully in existence just saw me cry on ABC. This will go well.
Yeah. Well, I think everything's traumatic when you're a child.
Sure.
Although being on TV is its own separate beast, I think.
Well, I always felt that way about spelling bees. Like the idea that these national spelling bees are not child abuse. Like there was that thing it's probably 15 years ago at this point or something, but there was that kid who fainted. He was trying to spell a word. He fainted. Then he finished spelling the word and people thought it was like adorable. They were like, "Oh my God,
Like,
isn't it so great?"
Pressure a person's ever been under.
This guy needed to spell this word so his dad would look him in the eye, and the stress was so much that he passed out.
The word was cake. 4 letters. Come on.
You
and
think
the
he
kid
could
just
have done
couldn't take it? The pressure.
Absolutely. Now, Dan, what are you obsessed with?
I am going to go here and say that I am obsessed once again with grilling, baby. I'm talking home improvement. Making that sound. I'm going to start making that sound again and steal it from him. I'm out there. I don't know anything about what's under the hood of my car. I don't know how to caulk a bathtub. But let me tell you, I've never felt more of a good host and a good adult middle-aged man than when I'm grilling for people. And I always make way too much food. And mostly I'm thinking the entire time that I am going to cross-contaminate and touch my raw chicken fingers on something and kill everyone who came to my house. And so far, it hasn't happened, but that is all I can think about because I'm a nervous Nelly like you. Sure. And I live in fear. And, I'm not worried that anyone's going to slip and fall in my house and sue me, but I am worried about giving the neighbor's kid E. coli. And so extremely stressful operation. But I make a lot of jams for burgers. Anya and I'll really put a lot of thought into what our menus are going to be, and we're basically catering for 3 people who are coming over. There's not a lot of people, and so I'm just grilling
on the burger.
An onion tomato jam.
Oh,
you condense it with some sugar and some vinegar or whatever, and then you got this really sweet jam and some Gouda on top of a burger that's slightly cooked, it's just bright red and bleeding still. And I just been overeating, but it doesn't count because I'm making it for people.
Absolutely. How's your apron?
Oh, I got a leather daddy. You know what I'm saying?
What?
I got a black apron with leather straps, and it just looks like a little bit of a interesting that you chose that, but it was a gift, so it's okay that I wear it. But
does it come with leather gloves?
It comes
in
with
a gimp mask.
Gimp mask.
yeah. Well, it helps because you can get all the fumes. It keeps you away from all the smoke and getting in your eyes when you wear a full gimp mask.
Well, I like to cook an animal and then also wear one.
Sure.
And that's just violent. And I think at some point in this podcast, I started talking about how I'll kill a chicken live on TV or whatever. That was the other podcast we did this morning. Isn't that interesting? We're famous now, so we got to do the podcast rounds. Yeah, I'm just obsessed with grilling. I got Mark Bittman's How to Grill Everything. I think about how I want to work my charcoal. I don't use a gas grill. I use charcoal, which I believe will kill me faster.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm very happy with it. Just breathing in that smoke and smoking a cigar and flipping burgers. And I was telling Anya that I wanted to talk about this, and she was like, you should tell everybody who's listening how insane you are about the grill. Because for a minute, I had to go inside and take care of the dog or get something from the kitchen. And I put a friend in charge of the grill, and Anya came in to check on me, and I was like, go out there and make sure they're not fucking with my grill. And I turned into like a dad. I was like, don't let them flip the burgers yet unless they're done. They're done on that side. But you only flip them once. And then they were like, and Anya was like, the man you were yelling at has IBS and is not going to eat any of those burgers. So I don't think you're fine. He's not touching the grill. He's just looking at it. It was beautiful. Anyway,
something when you get involved in comedy, you learn that 85% of the people you interact with have IBS. There's something about it that I think maybe it's just because the anxiety of it as a kid breeds to humor. Or as a defense mechanism or something like that.
Right. And you get all that alone time,
Sure. All the shit. Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, absolutely.
You get to sit alone with your thoughts.
Speaking of being alone, what a great time to get alone. Turn up the audio and listen to, I actually didn't tell him this. He might know this already, but in my head, for years, I've always called Nick Hot Toddy. So let's listen up to Nick Maritato, a.k.a. Hot Toddy. I was going to ask you, this was my big thing to ask you was, I know you to be I wouldn't say an obsessive person. That makes you seem like a sick freak. But, somebody who has a variety of interests and you get into things. And one of the big ones I know of you is, for as long as I've known you, the boss, Bruce Springsteen. I feel like that's fair to say. That's been a love of your life, right?
Sure.
I don't think that's crazy. What are your thoughts on the movie? That's really it. That's all I was curious about.
Didn't see it.
Well, it's not out yet.
Didn't see it.
I don't think it's
Oh,
out.
sorry. I thought you thought everybody in New Jersey got a press screen.
Sure. You got a little screener. Yeah. With your Taylor ham or whatever the hell they say. Yeah.
Oh, pork roll. What
Oh,
you-
sure.
I'm from Central Jersey, which people don't think exists, but it does.
Okay.
It's the Jersey Shore. It's where Bruce is from, Central Jersey. Come on now. Yeah, Bruce Springsteen, didn't see it. I just think that what's his name from The Bear did a good job with the Suicide Brothers movie, and I think that he will Iron Claw. I think he'll do a fine job.
Yeah.
You know, he's tiny. That's like a thing. Like I just feel like we can't make him every rock star. But like Bruce Springsteen's like 5'6", so
Is he
it's
tiny?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a super big dude. None of these people are that big, and anybody that's famous, if they're
It's
that
like Mike
big,
TV in the Chocolate Factory. They have
exactly
to be a
that.
very tiny person.
yes, it's exactly that. Or Augustus Gloop, some of them. You
Well,
don't
that's-
realize
yeah.
how fat they are, but they're very fat.
They're very fat.
But
They're very
Bruce,
small.
not fat enough for me to pick for this topic. But I like Bruce Springsteen. I like it was tough. You guys reached out and you were like, hey, some sort of a hobby you're into, and I've listened to a couple of your podcasts. I understand how things how this stuff go. I'm a big fan. I meant to say up front, big fan.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
Yeah. And you guys seem like upset that you have somebody listening to this podcast, which is like, I don't know what that means about me.
I wasn't planning on
But
it.
Someone did it to me last night where they said, I listened to your podcast, but they didn't say if it was good. Or
My brother did that to me as well. He had notes on like things that I had shared some stories from our childhood, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember when that happened, and it was interesting that you guys talked about this with video games," and that was it. And I was like, "Oh great, thanks, man." Yeah. By the
Probably
way, even if
podcast
you
is
don't,
like-
if you don't like it, you go, "Hey, I listened to it; it was great." That's just how humans.
Yeah.
Interact.
You heard
yeah.
me just do that shit
Absolutely.
2 minutes ago. Follow suit.
I don't
Follow
think you
suit.
did
This
say you
thing-
liked it, but you said you were a fan.
I said big fan.
You
I
did
did
say
not
big
say I
fan.
liked it.
No,
I like Office.
Well.
I like what you're trying to do.
Uh-huh.
I
That's
also
what he
like
likes.
people eating shit, like literally. Like it was
Yeah.
one of my. I almost talked about that on.
Yeah,
here.
sure.
Like shit eaters,
Yeah.
scat eaters. So I like that in your podcast. So, and I couldn't do either for this topic. For this
That's
thing.
true.
It would just be strange to do either.
I thought you meant people
Um,
bombing, but you mean people actually consuming feces.
No, I like people taking hunks of what you would consider shit. Well, what is shit? Like
Sure,
poop,
sure.
and putting it in their mouth, eating it for sustenance.
Not
No-
for pleasure,
no
for sustenance.
No,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
disgusting.
Yeah,
Zach.
sure. No, I
It's
get it.
shit.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand.
But it was hard. It was hard picking something for
Yeah.
this. I had to think about it because I do. You're right. I do get. I get kind of into obsessive stuff. There's a term that I am trying to coin and then eventually make a failed podcast out of, which would be called like couch culture. Is sort of what I feel like this is, which is like with YouTube and all the other bullshit on the internet, you can like go from not knowing anything about a topic or like a genre or a subculture to being like a pseudo intellectual about it. You can
Sure.
become a genius in your field that you sat there and watched. And so that happens to me quite a bit. I mean, we've all spent a lot of time in our rooms growing up in New York City,
Mhm.
in our Brooklyn bedrooms.
Yeah.
And, you come home a little drunk.
I had a
You-
big poster of Giuliani when I grew up, right above my bed.
Well,
growing
I
up.
kind of feel like all three of us sort of grew up in Brooklyn just doing stand-up comedy at open mics.
Sure, I get what you mean. Yeah.
We're all kind of early starters to the thing. So like that's kind of when things started to go like super obsessive for me. And I think like at first what it was in New York, well, music, I got really obsessive over music in college. Like that's when I started to learn how to like illegally download stuff and find things on message boards and websites. So I didn't necessarily have to own all this stuff. And this is before streaming. Now you don't even need that. You just need Wikipedia to kind of tell you like this band was influenced by this band. And then you're off and running. You got a million new albums to listen to. So that was one of the things. Reality TV, I got like super into reality TV when I first moved to New York City, like listen, because I was always a Real World guy.
Mhm.
Like I always kind of liked the Real World, but I got really into like Real Housewives and Bad Girls Club and stuff of that nature, where I was like watching just reality that really was not, directed towards like a 22-year-old guy
Right.
living in Brooklyn. Like I knew all like who Natalie Nunn was before the rest of the world did.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, you still don't know? She runs LA.
I still don't know.
She's now on Baddies, which is like the Bad Girls Club.
I should have just
they took
pretended
it.
that I knew. Big fan.
It's fine.
Big fan.
It's fine. No, you don't want to be a big fan. She's a villain.
No, a bad fan. Not fan.
Bad fan.
Dat fan.
Dat
There
fan.
you go.
I got really into Dat Fan
Sure.
and his jokes.
No, I remember that. See that fan over there. That's what
It was like it went Natalie Nunn,
Mm-hmm.
Dat Fan, Ralphie May.
Sure.
Sure.
Uh,
R.I.P.
that's where it ended.
Oh wow.
You know what I was obsessed with? What I used during those stoned 20-something, I'm trapped in my single, I had what do you call it? A twin bed in a room of a house where I shared a bathroom with like 4 Italian people and a kitchen with a bunch of people. I would use Stumble Upon, and I really miss that, which was the thing where you could just click and it would sort of chat roulette you to a random website that like explained how narcotics are made. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make my own cocaine. And then I'd like click a button again and it'd be like, here's an unsolved mystery. And then I'd click it again and it'd be like, here's a Wikipedia article about cheese. And I'd be like, this is exactly what I need. 5 seconds of information while I'm stoned out of my mind. And I remember some of it.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I was doing that with like Vice documentaries
Yeah.
on their
Yeah.
YouTube channel. Just like, I'm going to find out all about ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
And just like some like guy on the spectrum, like in the woods, like offending people who are from there with like putting like a shirt on his head. And I'll be like, this is fucking culture. But anyway, you just get into all these things, and sometimes I'll get in and they'll stick, So I got, and normally my stuff kind of stems from stuff I get obsessed with, like stems from like the same world. It's always like a music, like there's a music genre here, and then from there,
Sure.
it sort of maps its way out to like the culture that music sort of talks about. So that's usually hip hop,
Mhm.
and some sort of like heavier music, usually like a hardcore punk sort of. They kind of live in the same we are cool skater kids sort of world in like, especially in like the movie Kids. You ever see Kids?
No. Too
You
horny.
never saw Kids?
Too horny.
I saw it.
It's horny as hell.
It doesn't. It's horny, but it's kind of disgusting.
It's so sad and disgusting.
Yeah, it's sad and upsetting.
But like that, like early '90s, like depiction of New York City of like just skater scamps, like just riding subways, giving AIDS to everybody.
Sure.
That's what I got obsessed with. That sort of world. Those kids like punk. Those kids like hip hop. Those kids also like stuff like graffiti and skateboarding and all. And there's this culture that eventually everything kind of stems from. And I get really hooked into that stuff, especially when there's like a New York hook to it. If there's like a little bit of an old school New York hook to it, like between late 70s to like the mid 90s, then I get really into it. And that's kind of what I want to talk about graffiti. I chose graffiti, and was this podcast originally called My Dumb Hobby? Is that why, or the Hobby Hole?
Sure.
Is that why this is named Riverside?
Well,
Thing named the Hobby Hole.
it seems
It's
like
part of the brand.
Nick's maybe listened but not finished an episode. I coined it. I call them the hobby holers at the end of and nobody likes
Like
it.
Say it up front. Say it up front.
No, you save it for the end because
hates it.
people really get turned off hearing it. So you save it for the very end. But now you're here, and Dan likes to call this the hobby hole, which I think is somehow even more gross
Right.
than the shouting hobby holers. But you're here to talk to us about graffiti, and in
Yeah.
what context? Because Dan and I are both fascinated by the idea of it. We don't know where you're going to go, left or right.
It's kind of why I wanted to choose it, because I kind of feel like if I was here just like, let's talk about hardcore punk,
Sure.
or I want to tell you everything about Notorious B.I.G. It's just like, okay. But I do feel like graffiti's weird because what got me into it is like you see it everywhere. It's constantly, especially you live in a city, it's around you at all times. But you just sort of look at it and then look away. And every so often you'll see something elaborate. And you'll go, is this graffiti? Because this person should be in like an art studio if they're just doing that. And you kind of wonder, where are these people from? What's the deal here? And so that's about all you think about when you're walking around, especially like in New York City. And then like basically what happened to me is like just like this podcast right now. Maybe some kids listening to this right now. And I saw on my YouTube algorithm, it was a suggested video for me that this guy that I like, who's kind of like an old school like New York punk guy, this guy named Danny Diablo, had like clips of an interview. And I was like, I always like to listen to the old New York hardcore guys. Let's hear this guy talk about whatever he's talking about. He's usually kind of crazy. He's still all fucked up, beating people up still at the age of 50 or whatever he's doing. This is great. So yeah, he was talking about getting into fights, but he was specifically talking about back in the day fighting different like crews of kids, not necessarily gangs, but crews of kids in the Bronx.
The Warriors.
Yeah, kind of. In like the late 80s. So he was going through that and I was hooked in. But then I realized that like he was sort of staying around the topic of graffiti. Like these were graffiti crews, which right there I'm like, what? A graffiti crew? I never heard about this. Piqued my interest a little bit. And he's talking about all the beefs between the crews and stuff. And so I'm like, it's just little clips from the longer podcast. And so I'm intrigued. So I'm watching more. And I'm realizing that the podcast I got suggested was this thing called Living Proof New York, where this young, like skater looking kid from New York kind of interviews older heads in the scene who are, some were musicians, some were skaters, all revolving around New York, sometimes in LA, but all revolving around New York. But the through line is they were all connected to graffiti in some way. And so I was like, I don't know anything about graffiti at all, but the fact that you're tying it into other shit that I kind of like, and there are people on here that I recognize for a different art form, talking about like, oh yeah, I used to write graffiti in the 90s. This was my name. This is the stories and all that stuff. So then I just started clicking through and just kind of getting like a quick primer on sort of the culture of graffiti. And it just hit every one of those boxes that like any of those like epically later Vice documentaries have, where it's just kind of like, these are like cool kids from a time before me who are like talking about like what it was like to be kind of like a cool kid in New York around that time. And in Vice, it was mostly all those like skate docs. And it's just like skating is what connected us. Well, this is the same thing, but it's just graffiti is what connected us. So that's kind of where it started. And it was like not too long ago, like 6 months ago or whatever. So I watched that.
So you haven't done any graffiti?
I have done graffiti.
Hello.
You have jumped in there?
Okay.
On a what are those trucks called? Cybertruck?
I would love to tag a Cybertruck. There's too many cameras on Cybertrucks. That's the problem. I almost feel like you go up to a Cybertruck and then a claw comes out and grabs your nuts until the cops show up.
There's an old Naked Gun bit. Punch you in the balls.
ICE shows up and like beats you over the head. And then makes
they have gun
you
turrets.
An immigrant and then hurts you.
It makes you an immigrant.
Cybertruck has
you appear in another country and they deport you from there.
A Cybertruck can turn you into an immigrant and have ICE come and beat you over the head. Every one of there's so many. I live in LA. So many fucking Teslas and Cybertrucks all over. It's like insane. And I would say every one of them now has a sticker being like, hey, by the way, Elon has a small dick or something like that.
Yeah.
Where I'm not supposed to like smash your windows out for having a.
I saw one on Long Island that said, I got this after I found out he was an asshole. And I was like, oh my God.
I was like, that guy got a Cybertruck 12 years ago?
Well, the Cybertruck.
I didn't know.
A Tesla, I'm willing. Like Paul Reiser has a Tesla. You know what I mean? Like we're all,
Wait a minute.
We talked about it. I met him last week and we chatted.
That's why
I always say down with Paul Reiser.
Sure. Well, so I get that some people. I get you got a Tesla at some point. I'm more forgiving on that. But the Cybertruck always looked like it was for assholes. And it's always been kind of exclusively to me for assholes. So I don't really get I didn't know that he was a bad guy. It was always obnoxious and made, it's like truck nuts in car form or whatever. Yeah.
What if the whole truck was nuts?
There you go.
That's a great,
Yeah.
good bit.
That is good.
And what if the whole bits always work with me? It like doesn't matter what the other details are. They should make the whole thing out of the thing we're talking about. It just makes me laugh every time.
So what was
wrote
the
one of those
graffiti?
a couple days ago.
What was it? What was it?
Oh,
Tell
well,
us.
I went camping, and it was the first time we went camping in bear country. And they're like, when you check in, the rangers are like, okay, anything with a scent that smells like food, it's got to go into the bear box. You put it in the bear box. It's this metal box. You lock it up, and you're good to go. And it's like, great. Like, so when I'm in my tent and a bear is like eating my face, my hot dogs are going to be super safe. And then they should make the whole fucking thing out of the bear box.
Absolutely.
I
They
mean,
should
come
make
on,
the
am I
whole
right?
forest out of a bear box.
Bear box.
Put up a wall. When are we going to build that
12
wall
minutes on.
around the forest? So what was the graffiti that you did? I want to hear that. I don't mean to
that
jump
I
ahead.
did. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to consider myself a graffiti artist. So basically, the only thing that would
Yeah.
like consider yourself, well, let's just talk about it. The tenets of graffiti
Mhm.
are very,
Mhm.
very simple. It's you have to like the very basics is write your name somewhere illegally.
Mm.
That's basically what you want out of that is if you have not done that, or whatever your surname is, whatever your not your nickname is.
Yeah,
You don't
your
wanna write
tag.
your whole name. Your tag,
Yeah.
which should usually be your name.
Okay.
And if you're not writing your name and a series of numbers on somewhere where you're not supposed to write it, where it's illegal to write it, you have to vandalize.
Yeah.
If you are
Mhm.
not vandalizing something, then you are not doing graffiti. So there's like a big beef between street artists and
Right.
graffiti writers, because a street artist do what is called illegal, which is they go to the city or the town and they legally they can do a mural on the side of this guy's store because he asked for it. And it might be in like spray paint graffiti style, but because that was a legal act, it is
Right.
not graffiti. And so if you're only doing murals and legal stuff, then you are not doing graffiti. You have to break the law.
I just had an image of someone saying, I want you to paint some graffiti style art on the side of my building. And you just write like, A cab, fuck you. Like really
You
simple.
didn't say.
Like it's not art
It's
at all.
legal. It is
It's
legal,
just
though.
sentences. Anyway,
So
proceed.
that's basically it. It's just like, and like really like the guys that started this were like literally all the way back from like this late 60s, you know? And I guess in the 70s it started to get pretty big, but it was either started in New York City or Philadelphia, one or the two. But there are two people that they kind of like give the honor of being the first graffiti artist. And in Philadelphia, it is a man called Cornbread.
Oh.
And
nice.
just in the 60s, you would go anywhere in the greater Philadelphia area and you'd look up on the wall and somebody in marker wrote Cornbread. And it got people talking. People were like, have you seen Cornbread? I heard Cornbread was over there. What's the deal? And then all of a sudden, you know, somebody wrote like Steve. And it was like, well, who's this Steve guy? You know, it's like Steve's on the come up. And then in New York City, in Washington Heights, there was a bike messenger. I believe he was a bike messenger. And his tag was Taki 183. Taki 183. And he would write that everywhere. He was driving all around the city on his bike. He would write in marker on a wall, Taki 183. And so that's really where it started. And then people would see it and go, who's Taki 183? And then be like, hey, man, I'm Angel 57. And 183 meant he lived on 183rd. So like that was sort of his I think he was a Greek dude. I think he's still alive too. But he was Taki 183. And so people started to write their kind of nickname and then the street that they came from in New York. And so you would walk around these places and you look up on the wall and you'd see the same names. And the idea was, I want to get my name on the wall, get it up. You want to get your name up as much as I possibly can, just because like I want the notoriety of people being like, you know, I'm Taki 183, or like, who's this Taki 183? And eventually Taki 183 does like an interview with like Rolling Stone, like an anonymous interview in like the early 70s. And that interview takes the culture and makes it big. Now you got all these kids being like, I want to do that. I want to be a writer. They call themselves writers, not artists, graffiti writer. So I want to be a writer. And so kids started picking up markers, and then it evolves. It evolves because people start going like, well, if I just write John 12 on a, it's not that exciting. You know, I'm actually kind of good at art. And so they start adding lettering and like calligraphy to it. So really tags are just calligraphy. It's just like different. If you notice, like with serious tags, like people who do it a lot, like there is a sense of style to it. There are rules that they're following. You know, the lettering all makes sense. The balance. I mean, they're really doing it out there. The people that actually took it seriously and take it seriously. It moves from like markers on the wall, and because it starts becoming, you know, Taki 183 kind of makes New York sort of the epicenter of this. In the 70s, the mid 70s to like the early 80s, it goes underground, and people start doing pieces, not just tagging, but pieces on the subway trains. And so that's where you get like what you would consider the classic graffiti culture of the subway cars going by and just totally from door to door, like what you would consider a mural. But I think a mural is considered legal. So this would be really more of a piece, which is short for like a masterpiece in graffiti. There's all these terms. There's glossary of terms. There's real terms. So like if you're doing like just that, you're writing your name in a cool style on the wall, that's a tag, right? Then you have like, those are the guys that just do kind of bubble letters, like just say like my name, my initials was my tag NAM. You would just see outline of bubble letters on a wall or on, and you know, in a legal area. And that was what we call a throw up or a throwy, because you kind of just quickly with your spray paint can, you throw it up on the wall. And then from there, if you're going to add shading and you're going to add colors and extra little bits and pieces to it, that's where you start moving from what a throwy is to like the epic piece, the graffiti piece that you would see like a character and like a name and good shading and squiggly style and all that stuff. And as like the years go on, people start just getting better and better at it. And then you have what you have today, which is like you could walk into like a subway, you know, station, and like literally there's a mural on the wall that somebody did like illegally overnight. But it's mostly it's contained to the subways in New York. After that Taki 183 time in the 70s and 80s, from like 73 to like, let's say 83, it's just people bombing the subways, because you can be a 14-year-old kid, sneak down there, and from midnight to 5 a.m., no one's down there. So you have 5 hours with all your friends to do these elaborate things. And if you really want like this type of history, which is a fantastic documentary that is free on YouTube, it was a PBS documentary, watch Style Wars, which is like a 70-minute documentary on 1983. And it's like some guy went down there and interviewed all the kids that were doing this shit. And a lot of those kids became like legendary writers as the years went on, but you realize all the kids doing it were like 12, 13, 14-year-olds from like Long Island, the Bronx. And, you know, it was not these like, these are little kids that started this shit. And then what happens in the mid 80s is they do something called the Big Buff, where finally New York is sick of it. They start the broken windows laws, where it's just like, you know, if you see graffiti, we have to clean it up. Graffiti's ruining our city. Like at that time, every train car was like from back. That's like where you see like the classic New York train cars, like, and they're all fucked up. It's because of the kids went wild. And so they start doing what is called the Big Buff. They buff the trains. They clean all the trains. And as soon as graffiti goes up, they invest millions of dollars in that, taking that car to the train yard and cleaning it. So your graffiti will not last. So if you want to go down there for 2 nights and inhale all that spray paint, like you better hope somebody can take a picture of it, because it's going to go away. And so then those writers, a lot of them leave because they're like, fuck it, I'm getting older. It's 1985. I want to grow up, and they're buffing all my shit. But then a lot of them, and the younger kids who's still into it, go above ground and they start street tagging. And they start doing the walls and that's when it becomes not just trains, but like every building you could possibly tag. And that just goes through history.
Can you think of anything else that's like a good cultural moment for teenagers? You know what I mean? Because when I was a teenager, the big cultural touchstone was doing tappers. You know what I mean? I was 13 and a kid walking down the hall just slap you in the dick.
Oh, a zap tap?
And a zap tap.
I love those, man.
It was a little different than tagging. But there was an art to it. There was an art to the flick.
You get that now with the Cybertruck when you get too close.
Yeah,
right?
well,
Give you a little zap tap.
There's also a little geography, just like New York, Philadelphia. There was the capital of Taiwan or whatever it is, or the capital of I forgot. It was like there's some Bangkok.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Oh, we're
Yes,
still talking
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
I'm a graffiti writer, man. I ain't no
sure.
geography teacher.
Now, where does
And I
my
haven't
question?
zap-zapped in years.
Where does Scratch-Eaty fit into this? Do they have any?
Oh, interesting.
Is there respect for Scratch-Eaty
What is that?
in the world?
Zach, what is that?
Oh man, I really wasn't expecting to have to follow up.
So there is. I don't know if you made that up, but like if you
No,
take
it's a thing, right?
to
Yeah.
like a window, and you
Yeah.
you see like there's the etching in the window, like where somebody writes their name horribly or whatever. That would be like scratching your thing into it. And honestly, if you talk to like these older like graffiti writers, anything that is a vandalistic act where you put your name or your nickname on it is
Right.
considered graffiti. And that also includes it's like the safest form. And I've done a little bit of this too, but there's slappers, which is like the stickers.
Mhm.
So you see those like "Hi, my name is" stickers, and if you go on somewhere, they're just plastered all over the place with like little bubble letters on it and tags. That is like something in the graffiti writer's arsenal that like they go and they make cool little designs. And the idea is people can peel stickers off pretty easily. So you
Right.
got to get it as high as. That's why you walk down the street and you see like on the telephone poles or on the back of like electrical boxes where like how did somebody get up there? They jump up and they slap it. That's why they call them slappers. And then your sticker, as long as you use a good paint pen, will stay there until somebody decides I got to get a 12-foot ladder and get that fucker off there,
So
which a lot of the times they don't.
Is there respect for someone like a Shepard Fairey, somebody who, when I was in Cleveland and I was a teenager, one day I woke up and I walked down the street and I just saw all the obey signs, and everyone was freaked out because they were like, "What is it?" And they were like,
What are we obeying?
Yeah, it must be a new album. It
All
must
right,
be
put your
something
pants
I can
down.
purchase.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
suck your
and it
dick and
wasn't-
eat your ass because
Oh my God.
clearly you
I
put
didn't-
that obey
that's
sign
not-
up there, and that's what this
that's-
means.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
sorry,
doing
did I
a bit.
reveal myself to everybody? Did I jump the gun? It's authority.
Never,
It's authority.
that never once crossed my mind. No.
Now, wasn't Andre
Well,
the
I'll
Giant
say it.
involved in those? Am I wrong on that?
He
got his
he
Andre
used
the
his
Giant's
image.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say half and half. Shepard Fairey and also who's the dude who does like the Banksy? So they grew up being graffiti kids, right? They were like skater graffiti kids, and they apparently were pretty decent. But there becomes a split between that and what you would consider street art. And honestly, a lot of people have issues, especially with Shepard Fairey and Banksy, that they're not writing their name on a wall. And it's like, if you're a hardcore graffiti person, like you're using a stencil. That ain't it. You can't use a stencil. You got to go out there and show your little hand style. Stencil's too easy. You got to go out there with
Right.
the can, show your can control, and knock this out. Because the stencil you can just run up, and then all of a sudden you have like a perfect
Yeah.
thing, and you do it a million
I like-
times, which is fine.
I like
But,
can
you know,
control. That's
You got to
my
have
favorite.
can control. You got
That's
to have
twerking.
can control.
That's what they call it now.
Yeah, you got to.
Controlling that can.
You gotta. Oh, I see. Well, that's a different.
Forget
I'll
it.
I'll spray paint a booty. Anyway, can control. There's all that stuff, but people actually, like idiots, will say that they hate those guys because it's just like fuck them. Those are sellout posers, especially Banksy, who's like moved his way into like official high art. Like
Right.
you're not vandalizing anymore. We are street. Like what I do. Not me, but like Mr. Graffiti Man can I can go to fucking jail for what I'm doing. Like, people see your shit and all of a sudden they produce like 8 documentaries on it. Like that's how,
Mhm.
but like,
So and that's why you think that Basquiat's not cool?
no, Basquiat's very cool. And he's got, anytime Basquiat was like living the exact New York life that I would want to live.
Yeah.
Where it's just like the Lower East
Yeah.
Side, everybody's fucking gay and we're all just
Yep.
doing drugs.
Sure.
That's New
Yeah.
York.
Mhm.
And
That's
he was
right.
doing that and he was tagging stuff, but him, who's the dude who, I forgot, there's another guy who's like loosely connected to graffiti of that time, who actually, we talked a little bit about both these things, but he was a gay man who died of AIDS.
Mhm.
But he had those those little like stick figure guys in different colors. And
Oh,
forgot
I know
his
what those
name.
are. Because I made fun of it at a show that we did, Zach, in DC. And
Oh.
there was some guy, there was a bunch of people dead, and it said crack, $2. And I was just like doing a whole bit about it, and someone was like, "That is a famous graffiti artist," like some guy in the front row, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
What's his
asshole.
name? They've written books about him.
I know who you're talking about, and someone's screaming as they listen to this.
Yeah, he's
They're
no
like-
cool
they're saying the name.
skateboarder, so I don't give a shit.
No.
Yeah,
I like this cool.
I do
skateboarder
like-
guys.
I don't know if it's like the modern equivalent of this. I guess people still tag and stuff, but you get a lot of subway ad vandalism now. I feel like I guess that's different, but somebody will cut off the face of an actor on Bradley Cooper on an ad, and then they'll put it in the crotch of a lady eating Yoplait or something like that. And I don't really know what the commentary is, but I do find it delightful and charming.
Yeah. I don't know if you consider that graffiti.
Is that not graffiti?
It's sexy as hell.
Sure,
I know that.
sure. That
Oh,
could be
I know.
scratcheaty, potentially.
No, not really. Once again, you got to write your name. Just
Yeah.
honestly, you guys get to be graffiti writers. You go get a Sharpie, go outside your building, find a fucking a hydrant, and just write your initials in it. Boom! Now you guys are graffiti writers.
Well,
'Cause
so-
you shouldn't have done that.
Nice.
You shouldn't have done that. It was
My-
Shouldn't have done it.
My girlfriend did a little bit of they would not respect this in the game, but when there was a Mexican restaurant actually right in the corner of my apartment where I asked my girlfriend to be my girlfriend. Would you like
Nice.
to be my girlfriend? That's what I said. I actually said,
now your girlfriend is an enchilada, correct?
yes. Yeah. Which is tough because you got to eat it fast.
Before they say no, before they realize what
sure.
you asked them.
Yeah, the cheese congeals in more ways than one. But I said at this Mexican restaurant, I said, "Do you want to lock it in?" Is what I said. That's the expression I used.
Smooth.
Uh-huh. And then she said no. And then I asked
Oh.
4 or 5 more. No, that's not true. But anyway, on our 1-year anniversary, she made a stencil, and on the corner where that happened, she spray painted "locked in" with a little lock, and it says "locked
Oh.
in." It was a stencil. There's no
That's
name.
cute.
And it's actually, we ended up moving into an apartment that is right on that corner. So I can see it every day when I'm walking home.
Right when you're going out to have a cigarette and you're thinking about throwing it all away. You
Sure.
see the graffiti.
Oh, I forgot.
Like, I guess I'm going back in there.
I've got that enchilada in my life. But but if I told that to a graffiti man, he would tell me to go fuck myself. He would have no respect for
No,
that.
I think
No.
I think a graffiti man would be like, "That's rad."
Oh,
like,
nice.
I like that.
Yeah.
That your
Now, how do
lady
they-
had the nards to. I mean, they're vandalizing.
Mhm.
How do you
You're
feel about vandalizing some fresh cement?
Mm.
I think that
DW
counts. I
Plus
think it
and
counts.
a little heart in there.
Yeah,
I just
think
I
it
draw a
counts.
heart with my initials and no one else's. There's no plus. It's just me. I love myself.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, I think this guy Dan69 jerked off.
That's right. That's
That's what
right.
this means, guys. Come on. And no, seriously, bring the kids. All of them. The school. We're on a field trip.
Only in New York,
Only in New York. I would say that any of this is cool and fine as far as graffiti goes. There are some. You can have some rules for yourself. I know there's some. I've frequented some Reddit, some Reddit, some subreddits of graffiti artists, and people post their things, and people get a little angry when people are vandalizing private property. So like somebody's house. If you vandal a fence that's just like whoever's house is in front of, owns it. That's kind of shitty to do. I think the idea is you really want to vandalize public property, and really, like, if you're living in a city, like city shit, like, because there's
Right.
like a fuck you to the government, fuck you everybody. I'm writing my name on City Wall, on City Hall's wall, and there was an uptick in this during lockdown. If you notice, like
Right.
lockdown kind of. Especially the ACAB and Black Lives Matter. I mean, that's that. People kind of went back to the 80s
Well, I was just gonna
with how much
ask-
spray paint.
I was going to ask how often you want it to be political, or is it like inherently political? And so seeing a BLM or or would you rather it was stupid And
I think, okay.
this is my
personally for
name in
me-
bubble letters.
Personally, for me, I like the stupid shit.
Yeah.
I actually, though, so what happens is it's like you kind of take like the Matrix blue pill or whatever you're taking. And once you kind of get like this unlocked, because you walk down your street now, and you guys may do this, and you may go, oh, Woody. I do see Woody, the word Woody all the time. Now you guys know that Woody's a guy, and it's one guy. And you're like, how did Woody put his name here on the top of this building over there? It's like, this guy is working. Back in the day, they used to call it All City because you would want to get your tag or your name on every train that went to every borough and every little area of the city. And if you could, that means you were the top of the pops and you went All City. And so that was kind of the goal, is to go all city. Like everybody you can't walk out in your neighborhood without seeing my fucking name. And so whether you know me or not, you know Cope 2 or whatever the fuck it is, and that's it. And there are legitimate famous people.
Yeah, the famous one I knew was Dick Butt. Saw Dick Butt everywhere. And it was like a little cartoon character with a dick coming out of his butt, but he was shaped like a dick, and then the butt cheeks had a dick coming out of it. And the funniest thing that I know about that is that a girl in college told me that she was like, I slept with Dick Butt. And I was like, I think you slept with the guy who said he was Dick Butt, because it's not really that hard to draw. And the fact that you were like impressed does make me like you more. That you were like, I'm impressed by this guy.
It's why we all do it. It's why we try to get our little characters out there. Now, that is a character, and they're kind of respected. If you do a character that is your character, everybody knows this is the character. There's a guy in New York City called Sucky Bat. And he has an Instagram. Check out Sucky Bat. And he draws like the Batman wings and then like kind of funny bullshit in it. And he's all over it. In the Lower East Side, there on one of the tops of the buildings that I saw for years before I made a connection, there was something that just said Bat-Ola, Batola. I could throw it in the chat. You guys have seen it. And you just go, what is this? I don't know what that is. That's two guys. Sucky Bat used to write with this guy named Ola. And they went up there with, and another way to do it is like those big, huge ones on the side of buildings are usually done with paint rollers. Okay. So they went up there with the paint rollers. You find access through like a building as you can in New York. You get on the roof and then you do it from the top. But those guys, I mean, that guy takes the piss out of graffiti. A lot of people take themselves a little seriously, but this guy Sucky Bat, no one knows who he is, but he has like a healthy, that's the thing. Now you do it, and you get an Instagram account and people find you and they follow you and you just never reveal who you are, or you kind of do and people are just kind of cool about it. And you can have like a really good little online, you can sell stickers and shirts and stuff and people just know you're, Sucky Bat rules, you know. Sucky Bat's fun because, and you'll see it now, look around for Sucky Bat. He puts little like what I would consider like a comic bit or like a parody of an ad or something. And it's always kind of pretty vile and sort of funny, and you're like, this guy gets it. Sucky Bat gets it. It's really just about infamy. It's, can I get my name up there as much as possible, and will some guy eventually look up and go, why the fuck does it say Dick Butt everywhere I go? And that's all Dick Butt wants, is somebody to notice him.
I did.
What I like about it is skateboarders, to me, I've always found annoying because I find that they're skating on the sidewalk. They're like fucking with my shit, you know, with their rebellious attitude. This is more like art, and it's not actively affecting anybody else's day, if that makes sense. It's not, it feels less rude.
Except for the city.
And who cares?
The mayor takes a lot of heat because the neighborhoods look shitty and the grandmas are upset about it. It's like,
but
good.
I like
you want to
that
piss
if
the
it
mayor
gets,
off.
If people commit to it so hard, and this is just about a scene basically, is that you get a building that everyone passes on the subway that they knock down, and people were like furious that they knocked down the building, and now I can't remember what it was called, but it was like you'd come out above ground on a certain subway and everyone would see this one building, and it basically became a landmark for everybody, and it was just covered in tags, and they were like, this place is condemned, we're getting rid of it. And people like threw a hissy fit because they were like, but that's art now. Like that's a thing. Don't knock that down. Don't take that away from us. And that's what I hope will happen with comedy. You know, everyone's like, I don't respect this. I hate it. It's for demons and Republicans. But, we'll just stick around. And then when someone tries to kill us, they'll be like, you can't kill him. He was funny one time. Once in 2010.
That was a real dystopian journey to have somebody
Can't
go
send that man to the camps.
I like that one bit he did about NBA Jam.
That's right.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Now,
It's gonna
Nick,
keep me out.
wait, what did you say?
I said it's gonna keep me out of the camp.
I thought you said eat me out. Now
Somebody eat me out. I told a great bit.
I had
Just put "eat me out" in a heart on the sidewalk somewhere, and then wait. Then just fucking wait.
Now, Nick, have you said you've done a little bit of this yourself? What have you done?
So, all right, hold on real quick.
Oh, here we go. He's just showing us that he can suck his own dick. Wait, Ben. That's over.
All right.
This episode's filthy.
So here we go. So this is a paint pen.
Okay.
And it is a uni. I forgot what PX30. This is your basic tool if you want to be a tagger. It's just the marker. It smells great when you open it. Mm-hmm. And it has a sheen to it, and it's because it's a paint pen and it's oil based. It's very hard to buff. You can't really get it out of stuff. I mean, you have to paint over it. And right here we have a what like a construction guy would like tag like, a piece of the street to just let you know, like, this is where this goes. Or a tailor will use another paint marker, but it's more like a crayon, and it kind of can go on really rough surfaces. There's not like a little nub or whatever. But these are the two tools that I use, and I will say that at first I was like, I really want to do this, and so I picked a name. I decided that name didn't work for me, and I picked a second name. And that's all it is. Like, people online are like, how do I get my name? It's just like, pick a name, make sure not a famous graffiti writer has it, and then there you go. So you just do that, and then you pick your name, and then you write your name in any way you want. A lot of people really respect young graffiti writers if all they do is like literally just write a very legible word, because they don't like when people get kind of too crazy with it at first, because you then get made fun of and you were called a toy, a TOY. That's what they call like young writers who are just like, who suck. You're a toy. And that's your biggest graffiti insult, by the way. If you get called toy,
oh my God,
that's it. You don't want to be known.
We're gonna get
so in order to
canceled
get
for saying it on here.
Well, no, I mean, it's just like, it should let people know they shouldn't go out there. And what they'll tell you is hit the books, kid. Hit the books, because they want you to get a black book, is what they call it, which is really just like any notebook, but really, I guess, like a sketchbook, and practice for years and years and years, writing your one name over and over again till it becomes, muscle memory. And then you can go out and take that style that you create in those books, and you can put cool words on the wall. And so what I did was we got really interested in this, and then I just made me want to draw more. Here's something, like, when you're kind of an artist and you see something like this, like, all I'm seeing is guys use graffiti and markers and all these shit, and it just immediately makes you want to draw and like write. You just kind of like, I kind of want to buy a cool marker. And so I did, and I had a notebook, and I was just doodling, throughout the day. You just kind of doodle in this book, and then you're like, oh, here's what I think a tag might be, and then you do that. And then when I got it to a point where I think that I was like, this is what I like, I then started to just bring one of these, because they're super concealable. This one, if you're running around, not so great, but this one isn't. And you just go, when you're at AMC theater, when you go to take a piss, you're in the stall, just fucking tag that shit.
Oh, wow.
And so boom, you tag it up. And then bars already have 1 million on there. Why am I not one of those names? So then I'm like, okay, when I go to this bar, I'm going to write my fucking tag there. And I always just kept it in my pocket. So you just keep it in your pocket. And when you're drunk or high enough, you decide, like, I'm going to go over there and vandalize this thing. And so it's pretty much just bathroom walls of stuff. Although a few times I have taken my marker to the streets and I've tagged like a telephone pole or like a bench at a bus stop. And not much, really not much, but just enough to be like, I'm seeing this hobby through. It's not just me reading about golf. I really hit those links.
I think you're the first guest we've had who has committed a crime for their hobby.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, Josh
sure-
Gondelman didn't kill one of they. They might be.
They might be giants. Yeah.
Well, we do have Louis C.K. is coming up shortly, but that's a
Yeah.
different that's a different crime.
That's his
Yes.
hobby.
Well,
It's obvious.
now I will say too, one of the great things about this hobby, from what I can see, is even if you decide you're not into it, you can just huff that pen, right? And you can have a great
dude.
time.
And they're old school. This is where they're keeping the markers that used to smell like the markers we had.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
You have to like get them from. You have to get them from like Japan. That's where you get like a good paint marker.
Oh,
It takes
wow.
a long time to get. It took me like 3 weeks to get this. This is a black one, and there's a silver one. And the silver Uni PX30 is the marker. I would say the black is basic, but like the silver has like a very shiny afterglow to it. So if you put it on a dark surface, it really pops. And so like that is the tool of like the marker tagger. Now I don't ever consider myself like I'm going to do a piece or anything like that. I'm never going to buy a can of spray paint and then like sneak somewhere in the middle of the night. For me, it's all about convenience. If I'm standing at a light too long,
I
you know,
gotta
in
be
Silver
taking a
Lake,
shit.
I'm taking a shit, and I got my marker in my pocket, and I don't drop it in the toilet by accident.
That's smart.
Then it's going up on the wall, and so yeah, I've done a little bit of it. And honestly, when I started to go out and just start tagging stuff, is when I quit weed for like 4 months, and honestly, the boredom is like insane when you're not smoking weed. And I'm not really a big drinker, and it's a little harder in LA to like get yourself to like drink every single night when you want to, because you have to like drive somewhere to do it, or
Yeah.
you know, you have to the time is right.
That's why
it's
I
not like
moved.
New York City where exactly.
Yeah.
New York City, you roll over, you just figure out which one of the bottles by your bed doesn't have piss in it, and that's the one with beer.
Yep.
And then that's
Are you
it.
living like a detective who's been suspended from the force?
This guy keeps writing dick butt on all the
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I guess I'm living like a real suburban lifestyle where I just buy a bunch of beer and then I
Well,
drink it at home. And when someone says, "Do you want to come out?" I go, "I can't. I'm drunk."
Well, I'm a pothead. So when you're
Yeah.
a pothead, like you drink a little less, or hopefully you do. So, but I believe you me. I mean, you fellas know, like I've drank before, and I'll do it again. And so when you're not smoking weed, it's a little harder to like do the pothead thing with alcohol. It's a different.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I tried with alcohol, and also like the shrooms are a flying in Los Angeles, and so we had like happy
Right.
caps here, and like you're supposed to be like, I take a happy cap, and then I walk in. I'm just like, I gotta watch this YouTube video, and so then I'm like taking mushrooms because like that's what I would do to get high. It doesn't
Sure.
work. I immediately feel sad. It's just not good. But so anyway, I'm bored. And
Yeah.
so honestly, like there were times where like Ashley had her plans and I didn't have my plans. And so like I got on the bus with my markers and I took the bus like into Los Feliz, where on a Friday night where there's like, you're not in Hollywood where it's like everything's wild, but you're in a bustling area where not everybody's looking your way, you know? And I would just kind of walk down the streets, and if I found a little dumpster or something that was kind of fun and, you know, a green dumpster, I'm going, ooh, my orange marker will look good against that green dumpster. And then I quickly go behind there, I write my name, and then I run away, I take a picture of it just for the cops later. And then that's it. And guess what? It's a thrill ride, folks. You're doing
Yeah, I bet.
you're doing a little bit of a crime. And so you're getting that little high here and there. And then, you know, sometimes it's during the day, you have a cold brew in your hand. I mean, things are fucking
That's
wild.
pretty cool.
You're just like Dick Butt, man. Pop up.
Just like Dick Butt.
Yeah. Go and
Just like Dick Butt.
absolutely go to the
More
coffee
ways
bean.
than two.
I like you get a cold brew from Starbucks. They write your tag wrong. You know what I'm saying? They write your
Oh,
name
yeah.
wrong. That's graffiti right there.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Dick
Knack
Butt, one
Knack
word.
Maritato. Yeah, Dick Butt.
So it's, you know, it's like what an old guy does to feel young again.
Sure.
I think I could've
That's
started
better
with
than all the things I do to feel young again.
That is a good
what I'm
high.
saying?
That's a good anxiety high. You know, doing that.
And you could
It's-
also
yeah.
go write fuck ice. You know what I mean?
There you go.
That's
Oh,
fine.
sure.
You don't
Yeah.
need to write your name really. Just
Mhm.
Simple.
get the exhilaration of just being like, fuck Mayor Adams or something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
this is great. Like, I'm actually doing something that if somebody walked by me, if they didn't like what I was writing, I don't like that person.
Yeah.
At this day and age, like, so you see somebody write "fuck ICE" like on the side of a bus stop, an old woman should come up to you and pat you on the back and go, "Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Mhm.
my son." And so it's like,
Well-
yeah, it's illegal, but what? So what? Some fucking guy has to come and fucking slap a piece of green.
You're a
paint
job
over it?
creator. Yeah,
I'm a
they
job
have to come and
creator.
paint.
That's true.
Now, you
Yeah.
basically anticipated all our questions. We usually do, what were your old hobbies? We got there. We got,
Yeah.
how do you get into this? Telling us about it. Zach, was there anything else you wanted to ask, or is there?
No, I have nothing to say to Nick.
Well, you know what I was thinking about?
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe gonna do battle rap.
Oh,
That
yeah.
might be kind of interesting to go
Yeah.
through battle rap a little bit. So maybe I'll come and talk to you guys about battle rap one day.
That would be great. we
Um,
have a battle rapper friend we could have on. We could all talk.
Who are you speaking of?
My old friend from college is named Solkan. He's a short Jewish
Oh,
man.
you mean a insane legend of the
Hold
battle
on,
rapping
hold on.
scene? Soul
Yeah, I
Khan?
don't like to
I
assume
forgot you.
that
I
everybody
forgot you were
knows.
buddies with Soul Khan. Now,
I had
if
a great
you were gonna
time.
go on this podcast and talk about battle rap and you never even heard the name Soul Khan, you're not doing your job. Soul Khan
Yeah.
is part of I would say the heyday of online battle rapping. And it's only gone sort of downhill since Soul Khan
Yeah.
has hung up his.
Well, he was
his-
definitely
his
the
rebuttals.
funniest. He was like the funniest one, and
Yeah.
I was so proud to know him. And my favorite one was, "You ain't that gully, you just that sad. I fucked your mom so good it impressed your dad."
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
still
fucked
think
your
about it.
mom so good it impressed.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
dad.
He'll be so happy that you did that.
Honestly, he's got probably like I would say, it'd be hard to say that he's not in the top 10 like most amazing moments in filmed battle rap history. There's one moment where he pulls out a dossier on a guy and on the West Coast, like he's not in his hometown. He pulls out like a case record on a dude and it levels the room. I mean, he had some room shakers. There's the time where he went to the, a lot of these places are all black rooms, especially in New York. And he goes there in like an all white tuxedo and a top hat once. And that's another legendary moment. Soul Khan's great.
Yeah.
But I assume he
We're gonna
doesn't
talk
do
about
this
this.
anymore. He doesn't.
He does it sometimes.
He does it sometimes. Okay.
He does it sometimes. Yeah. No one wants to battle him. He's too good.
Honestly,
I'll talk
you
about
wouldn't.
this
He
for an
did
hour.
come back.
We're keeping this in, by the way. We're keeping this
He
in.
came back.
Please.
Please do. He came back
Yeah.
recently, and I remember
Yeah.
he came back, had a good showing, but there was a lot of talk in the battle rock community of like, I wouldn't want to battle Soul Khan right now. It's just he's too smart for a lot of these
Right.
guys, and he's good at it. Fat Beats, he was working there for a long time. Listen, I know all this stuff. He's part of this great sort of New York cool guy, sort of New York hip hop world. And you should be very proud to know Soul Khan.
I met him.
Right. We'll have him. We'll have him on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
we'll have
cool.
him on, and we'll all be. He's such a sweet guy. I mean, he's definitely writing "fuck ice" on the side of a wall, so he is
Yes.
cool. But he's a gentle man. He's a gentle guy. He's not gonna roast us.
Well, he sort of got out of the game because he just didn't like to be involved in like a whole subculture where like 85% of it was calling somebody the F word.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
He did not like that.
I got no problem with that.
No, of course.
I'm
I
free.
mean, that's my tagging name. Right? So, yeah.
You're taking it back.
Well, all right. Well, that's great. Where can we find you, Nick? If we wanted to
At
find
Nick
you.
Maritato. Just go there. I'm starting to put TikToks up again. I'm trying to put a bunch of threads up a day. Just go find me there and you'll see some sort of a sense of humor. And that's it. And guess what? Pussy Boys, this is nice about podcasts. You guys will probably fucking flame out in a few weeks. This thing will be
Right.
up forever.
Yeah.
So
Right.
just go find Pussy Boys, all
Sure.
Z's.
What about your old
and-
podcast? Because I listened to that. Not the Guilty Pleasures one, but the one that had bits.
Junk Food? Oh,
No, it was
the Great
post-junk
Comedy
food.
Podcast?
Yeah.
That's
I
up
really
there
enjoyed
too. It's
it.
good.
I really enjoyed
It
it.
actually is good. You can go
Because
I
there
think
were
you can go
bits.
listen to-
The bits snuck up on me.
There were
That's what was
bits.
funny about it.
It took hours and hours and hours to produce one
figured.
little thing on that. It's really
Yep.
being a one-man sketch show is tough.
Yeah.
But bits. I got throw my name in on any podcast catcher, and you're gonna find a bunch of failed ideas. And Pussy Boys is good. If you're a cat, if you love cats, we did like 100 episodes.
If you're a cat.
How much more? If you're a cat, you probably can't hear it, and that's your owner's fault. But yeah, if you're a cat person, it's a good way. It was a podcast about 4 guys that love their cats. And we just kind of talked. We would had a topic about cats, and we would go through it and did a lot of research. We went to a CatCon, which is like a convention for cats in Pasadena. Got kicked out of CatCon. That was a big deal because they didn't like the vibe of Pussy Boys at CatCon. And we were just like, oh, they don't like the vibe. We will show them. And then we quit like 3 weeks later. and I think because they kicked us out, they won. But still, we snuck lasagna into the Garfield film. And yes, it was a film.
Thank you so much,
listen,
Nick.
guys. Now, guys, let me do it. Listen, thank you so much. I had a real blast. I know the audience can't tell, but I did have a good time. And
All right.
And I'm just gonna say I couldn't hear Dan this entire time. I don't know. Hopefully our combos lined up.
In post.
No, it didn't come
Fix
through.
it in post.
Thank you once again to Hot Toddy, Nick Maritato. Check him out at Nick Maritato. Very funny man. Does funny stuff all the time. Very much worth checking out, I would say. Dan, where can we find you on social media?
Oh, you can find me at Dan Wilbur Comedy on Instagram and TikTok. You can find this show's Instagram, which does come with reels. We were discussing if we did any reels, and you better believe we got some reels up there. We got content. If you're listening to this and you go, I want to share my favorite moment from the podcast, I'm going to go check out their Instagram. And then you look and you go, well, this was not my favorite moment. I don't know why they chose this, but I'll share this anyway. That is My New Thing Pod. And you can just find us on socials at Dan Wilbur, at My New Thing. You should rate and review this podcast, and you should come see us every single week, Wednesday night, 7:30 at Young Ethel's. It's called We Have Fun.
Yeah, Nick really showed his ass with that you guys should post videos thing. But, that's neither here nor there. I am at Zach Sims Comedy on TikTok, at also Zach Sims on Instagram, every single Wednesday at 7:30. Park Slope. It's a free show. The world's crumbling. The dollar is meaningless. Come. I mean, you're going to have to buy a beer. Like, we're not like, it's not a charity organization. It's not a soup kitchen. But come enjoy a show with very, very funny people. And I believe they'll heat up a pizza for you, maybe, if you ask. I could be wrong about that. And until next week, see ya, hobbyholers!